Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm. Physical silence, no need to speak a word, lay here beside me. Don't wanna move too fast, your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. I never dare to ask if we're gonna last. I'm needing a...
Hello everybody, we're going to quickly go across to Facebook to go live, and then we'll put the music back on. We are live.
Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm. Physical silence, no need to speak a word, lay here beside me. Don't wanna move too fast, your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. I never dare to ask if we're gonna last. I'm needing all your love, needing all your love. Oh my God, oh my God, you know you play your cards so right. Oh, I am a sucker for hearts, just in the dirty clubs and diamonds. Take me, oh my God, oh, but we'll hold our faces straight. Oh, I am a sucker for hearts, I'm a sucker for hearts. Your blood is pumping, I feel it in your veins, surfing your heat waves. Your taste is different, somehow it makes me brave. Chemical nature. Don't wanna move too fast, your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. Oh my God, oh my God, you know you play your cards so right. Oh, I am a sucker for hearts, just in the dirty clubs and diamonds. Take me, oh my God, oh, but we'll hold our faces straight. Oh, I am a sucker for hearts, I'm a stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm. Physical silence, no need to speak a word. Lay here beside me. Don't wanna move too fast. Your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. I never dare to ask if we're gonna last. I'm needing all your love, needing all your love. Oh my God, oh my God, you know you play your cards so right. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts, just in the dirty clubs and diamonds. Make me, oh my God, oh, but we'll hold our faces straight. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts. Your blood is pumping. I feel it in your veins, surfing your heat waves. Your taste is different. Somehow it makes me brave. Chemical nature. Don't wanna move too fast. Your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. Oh my God, oh my God, you know you play your cards so right. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts, just in the dirty clubs and diamonds. Make me, oh my God, oh, but we'll hold our faces straight. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts, hearts, hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts, hearts, hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts. Oh my God, I'm a fool. Thought I'd never fall into you. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, it's so cruel how I'm loving the things you do. Ooh, yeah. Oh my God, oh my God, you know you play your cards so right. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts, just in the dirty clubs and diamonds. Make me, oh my God, oh, but we'll hold our faces straight. Oh, I'm a sucker for hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts, hearts, hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts, hearts, hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts. Wanna move too fast. Your lips on the floors, sipping on your love, sipping on your love. I'm a sucker for hearts.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome also to everybody who is on the Facebook Live. Welcome as well. And Sally has just joined at exactly the moment when we said we'd start up again. So welcome back, Sally, but I think you're still connecting to the audio, so you haven't been able to hear us just yet. But welcome, welcome everybody. And Sally, perfect timing because we just turned the screen back on. But we'd give everybody 5 more minutes. So first of all, how's everybody been since yesterday?
Oh, good, Minnow.
Oh, good.
Hey, Minnow. Oh, hello down there.
Hi, Sally.
Hang on, we've changed.
You've got
Sally.
lots of interesting things going on there, Sally.
Got to get the right camera on. There we go.
Ah.
Hi. Let there be
Makes me
light.
wonder what the other camera down the bottom is for.
I've got so many cameras. It's crazy. I can even turn this one on if you like.
Like George Orwell 1984 at your place.
It's been a good day, Menno. I'm looking forward to tonight.
Very good. Okay, shall we get into it and we'll put the slideshow back on?
Let's do it.
And I'm looking forward.
I may go walking while listening again.
Oh, good. That worked well yesterday, so everything is fine. Now, I might need to jump to the second page when this starts.
Inside your bedroom.
There we go. So the music is really amazing, but we're going to do it without the music now because otherwise you cannot hear me. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. So day one, we spoke about what Forex is, why Forex can be a great investment. Day two, we had a look at stop losing money in Forex, avoiding the biggest mistakes that people make. And day three, unleash the secret to creating profitable Forex algorithms. And today is advanced Forex tools, which is a really great day as well. And I'm looking forward to it being an uneventful day today, which is going to be really good. And Sally, I see you're joining us again for a second time. You must be getting ready for your walk in that case, probably. So I'm looking forward to everything that we're going to be doing today as well. So let's get into it because I value your time and I know that we are already running a little bit late, but that is all fine. So first of all, yesterday we were playing around and we had a lot of fun with a demo account. And I wanted to quickly ask, did anybody play around with it after we finished yesterday? Did anybody feel the need to get on and have a look and do some more trades, or did you not have time and leave it to be? You can put that in the comments if you like. Let's have a look. Sally says, yes, I turned it back on today. And I know that Mary Lou was also playing around with the one that I've given her to play around with, and it had some really good results. So what kinds of things did you experience, Sally? What kind of lessons did you learn? What kinds of things did you do? Did you make money? Did you lose money? And
I just turned on the demo account
yes,
again. Hang on.
just turn it
But
on.
it was I think I'm losing. I just turned it on. I haven't been looking or anything, but I just turned it on to see what would happen. And I'm down $8.64.
So good to see that you have used a small lot size. Thankfully, it's a demo account. And did you use any kind of strategy? Did you give it any thought?
I just turned it on because
I'm going to go for it.
I just turned it on. I'm like, which one? A, B, C, D, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to sell. I want to learn which is the best one to click eventually, right? But it was just for fun to see what number I'd have when you started tonight.
But that's a good sign. So I love it when people actually take it and start playing with it. So the people that I find are going to be most successful are the ones that pick it up and start playing with it and start having a look and seeing if they can figure things out, or what happens if I do this? How far do I need to push it until I break it? What happens if I do something else? That's always a really good sign. For those who don't, you can rectify that. You can just get started tonight and play around with it and see what happens. And you saw that it was Sally that was on and how easy it was. So easy to do. And so if you haven't played with it, then if you're serious about it, then you just go on and start playing with it and see what happens, see when it breaks, see when it works, see when it doesn't work. And you might start to see some things and pick up some patterns and some ideas. And to prove that it is actually quite easy to do that, as I said, Mary Lou has been trading for me, and she's been following a spreadsheet, so she doesn't really have to analyze anything, but she started picking up patterns and started asking me about it and started telling me about some of the things that she noticed. And that is what you're aiming for, to have that, I suppose, inspiration, to have that spark of excitement. And then you start looking at it a little bit more deeper because you're interested and excited and keen to see what happens. So great job, Sally. And yes, $8 not that bad. And yeah, we'll talk more about how to improve the results over time, especially if we do a call at the end of the 5 days. So this is what would have happened if we would have kept going or if I would have had my internet working properly yesterday. So this is the result from the last presentation we did. And after a specific period of time, I think it was the next day that we checked, and it was at $1.19 profit. So just showing that my internet does sometimes work. And then this is just the tip of the iceberg. But before I continue, first of all, obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You have only just heard some of the basic terms. We've done the Forex 101, and you've seen how it works, and you've heard some of the terminology, and we've spoken about some of the methodologies that you can use. And there is a lot more that you need to explore before you start getting to the point where you can say that you actually know what you are doing and that you can start creating your own system. So do keep that in mind. And now I promised that I was going to tell the story that I missed out on yesterday because we ran out of time, but we also had a really good conversation around that test that we did together. So I'm going to quickly tell you the story of the turtle traders. And so I decided to do that on this page because there is water on the page and I didn't transfer the slide across. But I promised that I would tell you the story of the turtle traders, and it is actually going to tie in really well with today's presentation. So I used to be a part of an investment club that was really amazing. And one of the first tasks that I had to do was watch a series called The Turtle Traders. And it was a hedge fund manager that wanted to see, and it was a reality TV show, and he wanted to see if he could take people off the street and teach them how to trade. So he found, I think it was about 12 people, and randomly selected, had never done any trading before, knew absolutely nothing about trading, and he brought them in and he trained them for a very short amount of time. I think he only trained them for about 2 days or so, and then told them to start investing. And he started putting some of his own money towards it, and he gave them all, or collectively he gave them $1 million. And it was really fascinating to see what happened to everybody. So some people were just too afraid to push the button, and they're just sitting there day after day, looking at the screen and worried that they were going to make a mistake, and they didn't push a button. Some people started getting really upset and frustrated because they started seeing that the results weren't coming, that they had to go through this steep learning curve, and they started lashing out and screaming and getting upset and making excuses and doing all of those different kinds of things. Over time, he tells them that it's really important that they just make mistakes, learn from it, and improve on what they made mistakes on. And it's something that I tell Mary Lou all the time as well. If something goes wrong, we analyze it, we have a look at what went wrong, why it went wrong, what we might be able to do to fix it, and then we fix it, and then we have a better result at the end. So eventually he gets a few people that drop off completely and a few people that stay on, and he tells them to just start trading, and they get a little bit better step by step. Now, a lot of the people start thinking that they can outperform his systems, and he's a very successful hedge fund manager, and he knows what he is doing, and he has taught them a specific strategy that he wants them to follow. And some of the people think, oh, I can do better than that, and they start making some adjustments and some changes, and most of them end up losing some money. Some of them make a tiny amount of money, and at the end, they're going to start having a look at who outperformed everybody else and who had the best results. And so throughout the show, you see all of the people who are frantic and who are doing all of the things and who are having all of these emotions and who are finally getting the hang of it. And there is this one lady at the back of the room who they almost never have in the actual footage. She ends up getting the best result out of everybody. And the reason for that is because she takes the system that he gives her and she just executed it from day one. She wasn't worried about whether she was making mistakes or not. She was very keen to learn from those mistakes. She was very keen to just get started and implement. And so she is just plugging away, and she is continually getting results after she fixes the mistakes that she made at the beginning. She gets the hang of it, and she just follows the system continuously. She never made any changes to the system. She just followed the system. Now, obviously, if you're in a position where you want to create your own system, if you want to improve on a system, then you can do that on the side. But while you're doing that, you want to make sure that you are just continually plugging away at the system the way it's been created and not changing anything until you know that you have a better system. So this is a really illustrative and really good show to watch if you want to learn more about trading with regards to finding a system, following a system, and that the person who gets the best results is the one that is going to have a system, create a system, and keep following that system without making any changes. And if you are going to, then do it on the side, but not change it while you are actually doing the trading in that sense. So that leads us to the algorithm side. Does anybody have anything that you'd like to share or any thoughts on that story, which I absolutely love? It's a brilliant illustration of what is important when it comes to trading. And it is one of my favorite stories to share. So I absolutely wanted to make sure that I shared that one with you today since we missed it yesterday. No questions or comments on that one, unless it's underneath. Oh, there's a lot of chats and everybody's faces was covering the chats. Fail forward, says Sally. Don't beep with the formula. I don't know if we're a family show or not, so I'm going to say don't beep with the formula. Absolutely. So we have just scratched the surface of the iceberg. But do you want a shortcut to making a strategy? So we've already been talking about a number of different things in order to make that happen. And I'm going to give you 3 methods right now that you can start thinking about. The first one is learn and do it manually. So take the time to learn as much as you can, like we've been talking about the last 2 days probably, where you want to understand the terminology. Surround yourself with people who understand what is going on and delving deeper and deeper into what is going on. And you can then also start trading manually, doing it on the demo account, starting to see how it all works. And I highly recommend you actually start with this method so that you can actually see what's going on, what's going wrong, what needs to be adjusted, and you might start to see more patterns that way. Then once you've become a little bit more proficient at that, then you can start creating algorithms and creating systems. So this is an algorithm that I created that somebody else put together into computer programming format. So it is quite an involved process. And it's something that if you are serious and if you want to take it to the next level, that you can absolutely do. And one way of getting a shortcut to that is to hire somebody else or to surround yourself with people who know how to program and who are able to assist you to turn your ideas into actual code if you are not the kind of person who actually understands how to do programming. So I know that it's something that is extremely important nowadays. A lot of schools are talking about teaching the students how to be able to program because it is such an important thing that is happening at the moment. But we also need to look a little bit into the future, and it's actually a very current topic in that sense, because a lot of the programming skills that everybody has frantically been learning is actually becoming outdated now as well, with all of the AI that can actually write code and write it a little bit better. If you're looking to actually create a strategy using AI, however, and I'm not sure if anybody has, let me know if anybody has actually thought in that regard or done anything or given that some thought, let me know. I'll give you a second to see if you have. If not, that's completely fine. I have actually gone onto different chatbots to have a look at what it would come up with if I asked for a strategy that I had in my mind and see if it could code it for me. And what I discovered is that they are programmed to actually program it slightly incorrectly so that it doesn't work, and it requires somebody else to still assist and make adjustments. So you can, if you have a strategy in your mind, use a chatbot to actually write the code, but then you still need somebody else to help you to make it usable. because the chatbot will give you something that is definitely not usable. So hiring somebody else, there is nothing wrong with that. It is a great strategy, but this is why we progress in this order. We want to make sure that we are learning and doing manually so that we understand what is going on. Similar to the story that I told, I think it was also 2 days ago, all of my colleagues at hospitality management at university, we still had to learn to cook because it's so important for a manager to know whether the chef is doing a good job or not, whether he's throwing away too much, whether he's using premium expensive mushrooms in a mushroom soup where it's only for the taste and not actually for the presentation. So you can use cheaper mushrooms that don't necessarily look as good. What is it called? The ugly fruit, as it were, that you can put into a dish that's going to be chopped up into small little pieces. So you want to make sure that you do spend some time learning and doing manually, and then you can start creating these algorithms. That's maybe just the idea if you're not able to put it into this format into a program. And then if you need to, you can then start hiring somebody else. But when you're hiring somebody, you want to make sure that you already have a basic understanding so that you can then talk along with them, see if they're making mistakes, see if they are creating something that's not advantageous to you, or if they are maybe stealing your idea, which doesn't often happen though. And Sally says, I tried doing basic HTML coding using ChatGPT. If you are able to turn the microphone on share, I would love to hear what your experience was with that and what your learnings, your takeaways, and all of those kinds of things were.
The coding stuff was pretty basic. It was just getting I can't even remember what it was, but I still had to go through and check the code. Like you still need a human to check it because it doesn't make it perfect when it codes, I don't think. So there's still areas you've got to go through and check, but it did speed up the process for sure.
No, absolutely. So it gives you a basis which you can use to take to somebody. So it does save you a lot of time from having to do it yourself, 100%. I'm fascinated by the things that you have done and how similar we are sometimes, Sally, I have to say.
I also got it to tell me how to create a complicated quiz using Typeform. So all the different decision diamonds to put people into buckets and how to number and all that kind of stuff. And then I said, how do I make that? And I said the software, and then it told me step by step in the software how to do it as well. So that was good.
Yes, it's amazing if you take technology and use it to your advantage, how amazing it is, and how people who are not going to be using it or who have a moral stance with it will probably end up getting left behind, because it is definitely something that people who were not so good with these kinds of things are going to be able to catch up and really be able to get good results from it. I've also used it to make contracts and different other things, and contracts in other languages, and it's amazing what these things can do.
Yeah, so good. Agree. So good.
I'll actually be working on a project tonight where I'm going to be using it to help me with my to-do list and relating it back to my goals. And that's something that I'm going to be sharing with my investment club, which is really exciting, because when you get the right prompts, you can get some real magic out of these things.
Oh, that's really cool. I love that. And you can map them back to you like rocks and stuff that you set for the quarter to help you stay on track. Yeah, yes. Love that.
I was experimenting with it a couple of days ago, and I told it how much time I had left for each of the goals, and I asked it to create a schedule so that I'd be able to get each of the tasks done, and asked it to help me to find any tasks that I'd forgotten, to add those in based on the goals that I'd set. And it did an absolutely brilliant job of creating a schedule of when I should wake up, when I should do each of the tasks, how to schedule enough time to be able to get some rest in between, and all of those different kinds of things.
Yeah, I need it to talk to me and remind me to rest too. I like that. That's really cool. So many amazing things you can do with it.
Absolutely. It's really funny also that when I first created this presentation, ChatGPT did not exist yet. And or it would have been in the very, very beginning stages, or I think it didn't exist yet, and how it's now becoming a conversation in this presentation.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it comes up in so many places now, right? You're either going to get on board or you're not, and you will get left behind. It was like that time when the internet came out, or who remembers a Y2K bug, or
Oh,
all
yes.
these just different things that happen, and people are either just going to roll through it or get left behind. So I'd prefer to learn about it than get left behind. I think it's good. It frees us up to do more of what we enjoy as well.
Absolutely. At one point, this presentation actually had a day where Mary Lou and Ethel used to do the presentation for me in order to show the power of the VA, and it's the same power that you have with AI. It's really, really good. Ethel mentioned that when we created the very first presentation, obviously we've made some changes along the way. This version, I think it might have just started, but we didn't really have it as a conversation piece in here. But when we first started the whole Forex presentation, yeah, AI did not exist yet. Well, it existed, but it wasn't commercially available at that point in time.
Yeah, and I mean, your presentation, like the last few days have been amazing, right? And it evolves and it grows, and as we do and we learn our presentations and everything like that we do, because we're living the live streaming life, helping people, and it's really interesting the conversations that come up and come through. And your presentation, I love how you're sticking to the Forex thing, though. That's really cool. I'll let you get back to it, Menno.
Speaking of the Forex, sorry, the live stream live, I almost thought that my computer wasn't working, but it turns out I'd unplugged it and plugged in the iron to iron my shirt this morning, and then I forgot to plug the computer back in. So I'm using the computer all day thinking that it's still charging, it's on charge, it's on charge. Then I got back home after I went out for lunch. I'm thinking, oh no, my computer is not working at all anymore. Turns out it just needs to be plugged in.
I know. I'm always letting it get to the red.
Okay, so that was another really great conversation to have around all of this new technology that is coming. So today is the most exciting part that most people have been waiting for. We're going to be talking about this thing that I have been telling you about, the leveraged investment using other people's money. And I'm going to come back to what I asked you to have a think about on day 2, which is, am I able to get you to come up with an idea, a strategy that is going to earn 4% or more? And the reason I mentioned that is in the next slide. So there are companies out there, and I've been getting a lot. It's very interesting. There are a lot of people who have been bagging me on Facebook and telling me that everything is a scam and that it's impossible to be able to get access to other people's money, and that I'm going to steal their money by doing this. But it shows that people are not willing to put in the time and the effort to research and find out what is actually available. And I think it's really important to remember that there are so many things that we don't know that are available, that are out there. And one of those is this thing here, which is called a leveraged investment, otherwise known as well as a prop firm. And these companies will lend you money. First of all, they'll test with fake money, obviously, to see whether you can pass the first challenges. And in this case, this is an example of one that has 3 challenges. And they are just uneducated people, absolutely. And so they will get you to pass these 3 challenges to prove that you can make a profit of 6% with a maximum loss of 5%, and they will give you a starting balance of 25,000, for example. And if you are then able to create a profit of 1,500 in a certain amount of time without exceeding the maximum loss of 5%, which is 1,250 in this case, then you progress on to challenge number 2. Now they give you 50,000, and Now the company might also start to copy some of your investments if they think that you know what you are doing. And then they will get you to, once again, make 6% without losing more than 5%. And if you're able to do that, you move on to challenge number 3, and you're going to do the same thing with 75,000. This is going to allow this company to see that you have a strategy that works. You need to fulfill their criteria, obviously, but they can see that it would be worth their while to lend you money in order for them to be able to copy your trades, and they can then start paying you some money for this out of the extra that they give you. So let's say, for example, that you pass the 3 tests. They will then say, okay, we might give you $100,000 because we can see that you know what you are doing. We're going to tighten it a little bit, so you're not allowed to lose more than 4% now, and you need to make a profit of 5%. But if you're able to do that, then we'll give you a payout of 50-50. So the company keeps 50%, you keep 50%. Now, if you only have access to a small amount of capital, so let's say that you have a savings account that only has $2,000 on there. If you have $2,000 and you are aiming for a 5% profit, then you are obviously looking at $100 that you are going to be making, which is not really that much if you want to start making a living from Forex, if you want to be able to replace your income, if you want to have sufficient passive income to start living the amazing life that you deserve and want to live. So if you've been able to pass the test and you get access to 100,000 that isn't your money, you can still add your own 2,000 to it as well, but probably better to use that 2,000 for doing the same system but on your own account. You take that 100,000, and now your 5% is going to be $5,000. Now you're only going to keep 50% of that, but if you have the choice between being able to keep $100 or 2,500 at the end of every week, every month, whatever period it is that you are making that in, give me a sign of hands or give me the answer in the chat. Which would you prefer? And Sally says it would take so long with only 2,000. Yes, with 2,000, it's going to be a much longer process. If you can get access to somebody else's $100,000, then it's going to be much faster. It's going to be much bigger numbers. And I would definitely prefer to have 2,500 at the end of, even if it's say in a month. I would prefer that over $100 or $200 over a whole month. You're not really going to be living like a rock star if you are earning $200 per month. But 2,500, you're starting to get into the realms of replacing incomes. And if you then start progressing through and you then pass that test, then you might get access to 125,000. And then you still have to make the same targets. But now you're getting paid 75 to 25. So the company will keep 25% of that. You get to keep 75% of that. When you pass all of those, then there might be a new strategy that is going to start with 250,000. You can still use the same strategy in that sense, but you're starting a new testing level. And then they're going to put you back onto the 50-50. But in this case, your aim is to make 12,500. So half of that is going to be 6,250. Now, I know that some of you are going to be earning more than that, but you have to work hard for it, or you are running your business with certain stresses, or you are going to be doing it in a way that is different to this, in the sense that it's not passive. So here you have an opportunity to be able to invest further, and you can do it manually. So that is a possibility, or you can also create a robot to do that as well. And Sally says, money making money. And absolutely, that is what it is. And in this case, it's not even your own money that is making that money. So just to keep going, this is obviously a repeating pattern, but we get to the point at 1.5 million. And this particular company, so I've just taken one as an example, will pay out up to, I think it's 3.5 million. I can only see the 3 million and then the bar pops up. But I think this one goes up to 3.5 million. And in that case, they're going to be paying you 100-0. Now, I have a question for you. How do you think it's going to be possible for this company to be able to pay you out 100% of the profits if you have now reached the 2.5 million mark? And consider you're now making 125,000 and you're not paying anything to the company.
Yeah, but all your copy trades and everything like that you've left there are making money for the company. Like you've been an
Absolutely.
investor.
So they might have their,
they're thanking you, literally.
they
Yeah.
certainly are. So they are going to be able to see what you are doing, and they will be doing the exact same thing. They obviously have very, very good servers that can copy it within a fraction of a second. Whatever you buy, theirs will buy, and whatever you sell, theirs will sell. And they will know when you close the position, and theirs will close the position at exactly the same time. And it would only be a fraction of a couple of cents difference. But when we're talking numbers such as $25,000, or we're talking $100,000 worth of profit, I don't think that they're too concerned about 1,000 here or there that they might be missing out on by a fraction of a second in delay. So this is the $0 use other people's money strategy that I have been talking about. I would love to hear your thoughts quickly on whether you've heard about this, whether you understand the principle, and whether you have any other comments or anything else that you'd like to share. And feel free to put it in the chat or say it out loud.
We had spoken about it, but I hadn't sat with you to go through it in as much detail to actually look at the sexy numbers. Like you'd given me an overview, but this is better. I wonder timing, like how long does it take? Like, and probably more copy. I don't know if I would spend the time. I just want to trusted somebody to kind of come up behind. Do you know what I mean? Like have the conversations, but I don't think I want to manage and run it all the time, but just get together and have the conversations and see what my money's doing. Yeah. Bit of copy more so than develop. Like you've developed algorithms, haven't you? So
I have, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if that interests me other than, but interesting to like somebody like you to help with that. Do you know what I mean? Like learn, but I don't want to, I just want to do the numbers at the end and go, woo, look at that 125,000. Thank you very much. But how long would it take to get there? I wonder.
So it depends on the company. So obviously there are many, many different companies now that do this. And so they all have different criteria for the amount of time that you have to pass the test. So some might say you have to pass the test within a month. Some will say, oh, take as long as you like. You can have a year to pass all of the tests. Some of them will tell you that you need to meet certain criteria that are a little bit more strict. So it really depends on the company and what their criteria are. So when it comes to the actual trades, some of them will tell you that you cannot use robots and you must do it manually. Some of them are completely okay with you using robots and creating an algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's really a major spectrum of different things.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I like it. Keep talking to me, Menno.
So this is the big thing that I wanted to share with you, and well done for being here and being the person that actually looks into these things rather than sending me messages on Facebook telling me that I am a scammer and that I don't know what I'm talking about and that this
They're
is
just
all possible.
uneducated because they are not
Absolutely.
learning. If you actually ask them to explain it in an educated way, they would not be able to have a rational conversation about it.
I actually feel sorry for these people because
Yeah,
they've obviously
they're
been
missing
hurt and
out.
burned before, and they've closed
Yeah.
themselves off from any new
Oh my
opportunity.
God. I've been burnt too. Like I had somebody take $3,000 and run, like, and oh well, shit, right? I've learned something, but I'm not going to give up. Quitting is not an option, right? And this is fun. Sexy numbers, baby.
Yes. So coming back to something that you actually mentioned, Sally, which is really amazing, is obviously if there is a system that is run through one of these companies, then they are not going to allow two people to run the same system through the same company. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you work as a consortium, that is a possibility where you have one person who is going to come up with an idea, another person who's programming it, somebody else who is adding some other expertise to it. Then you can create some really amazing ways to get into something like this a lot easier. And that is why it is something that I want to share with people, because I'm not a programmer. I have somebody else that I have helped me with any programming that I do. I have other people that I bounce ideas off in order to be able to do 1 + 1 = 3, because I always believe that the more people that you have together, the more that everybody can contribute, and the more resources that you need that you can attract that you might not have, because we only have so many skills ourselves, and we would be absolutely deluding ourselves if we think that we can get everything done all by ourselves. There's a very, very famous, what is it called again? It's a speech that you give when university starts, commencement speech that Arnold Schwarzenegger did. And I'm not sure if anybody has seen it, but he gets up on stage and he says, "You can call me anything you like, but don't call me a self-made man." He says, "When I got to America, I had nothing. If it wasn't for the nice, friendly people at Gold's Gym who gave me food, who gave me cutlery, who gave me furniture, who gave me everything that I needed so that I could actually get started with my career, I would have never been able to win Mr. Olympia, because there would have been nothing for me to stay in America. There would have been no way for me to be able to compete and train and do all of those different things." And he says, and then once I had these people, then I started getting introduced to people who helped me with my real estate. And so then I started making enough money to be able to start pursuing my acting career. And then he said, all the people that supported me and believed in me and gave me opportunities and gave me scripts and gave me all these other things, those people allowed me to follow down that path. But there is no way that I could have done everything that I've done all by myself, because I couldn't have had the money to be able to lift weights and actually build up my physique if it wasn't for the people around me. I wouldn't have been able to know how to do real estate investments, and I probably would have made mistakes and lost all of my money. And it's only for the people that were around me that allowed me to be able to do that. So it is really, really important to make sure that you are surrounded by and creating a group of people that can support you on your journey, because nobody, as Arnold Schwarzenegger says, achieves anything all by themselves, and nobody is a self-made man or woman, even though for some reason Western culture has edified this idea of the self-made millionaire or the self-made billionaire. So that is something else that is very important to keep in mind when you're thinking about heading down this path. So there is this opportunity there, but in order to be able to exploit it, you want to make sure that you're surrounded by people that you can work together with to create that magic. And we work better together than we do alone. Absolutely. Okay, so if we want to be able to do that, then it is really important to mastermind and share things with the people that surround you and who are going to be most supportive of you. Sometimes we tend to be a little bit down, and when we have people around us that can support us and build us up, we stay on track and we keep working on things, and vice versa. The people that lift us up and support us are sometimes the ones that are down, and we are up at that point in time. And so as a team, you can sustain each other and move forward a lot faster. So I have actually created a mastermind, and I spoke about it earlier, and share with my members, and want to be able to create more of these things and support people who want to create their own strategies or share the strategies that we already have so that everybody can benefit. So this is a way to create a new lifestyle. And I learned this strategy from a book that I read, which was really amazing. It was a book, I think I spoke about it earlier in the week. Correct me if I'm wrong, I do a lot of these presentations, but it was Dale Beaumont that created a series and he would get other people to write books for him. So everybody wrote one chapter talking about their business success and how they did that and what the keys to those were. And so he didn't have to put in that much work. But I started having a look at who was in the books and who wrote the foreword and all of those different kinds of things. And I realized that they were people that knew each other, people who worked together, people who wrote each other's forewords and I suppose advertised to their own audiences for everybody else. Because if you have in business, for example, if you have an audience of 200 people, then you're only going to be able to reach 200 people. And if 10% of those are interested, you're only going to really reach 20 people. But if you have 5 friends and each of those has 200 people, then there are going to be people in your database, in your group, in your tribe, who are not really interested in what you do, but maybe what one of your friends does. And so that 1,000 people now are going to be interested, maybe not in what you're offering anymore, but they might be interested in what somebody else is offering. So everybody gets more than 20 people when you work together. And I started to put that together, and I started to realize that the same rings true for investing. And I saw the same at my cafe. I had a cafe opposite the ING Bank at the time, which is now the Bank of China, near the Slip-In on Sussex Street in Darling Harbour. And I used to have the bankers come over with famous football players, with other really big business people. And they were all developers, and they used to syndicate. They used to pool their money and buy big tracts of land and put in traffic lights, because they'd argue over traffic lights and how much it cost and those kinds of things. It was very interesting to listen to. And they would make money by pooling their money. And they had a lot more power and leverage, because instead of buying smaller residential properties, they were buying big scale developments and selling to the wholesalers who are selling to the public. And so there's a very different kind of money that you are making when you are doing that. So it really has a lot to do with how you structure something. And by looking at a better way, and by starting small and growing and surrounding yourself with people who understand bigger and better ways, you're going to be able to create that new lifestyle. So I actually think I just told the story that this one relates to. So all of the people in Dale Beaumont's one particular book that I read all lived on the Gold Coast. They all lived very close to each other. And the foreword was written by somebody who was in the same group. And I started to notice that pattern of people working together and the power of that. So I have my mastermind, and it gives you access to a very powerful network. And my French teacher used to tell me when I was in high school, it's not what you know, but who you know. I used to think that it was so important for me to know everything. But then I started to realize that it wasn't as powerful to know everything, because I'm only going to know a small portion. Adding more people in is going to give me access to the things that I haven't read, the things that I've never heard about, the things that I've never done. It gives me access to people who have skills that I don't have. And there is no one person on this earth who knows how to do everything. So I might be very good at spreadsheets and creating ideas, but I'm not very good at programming. I've never been interested in writing code and spending so much time behind a computer. So access to a powerful mastermind network is very, very powerful. Then there are expertly crafted investment strategies for maximum returns, because when everybody works together, you can take an idea and improve on it, because everybody is giving input to that idea if everybody has learned together and is serious about something like this. So obviously it's something that you would vet for and make sure that it is a good group so that everybody works together well. So there's also exclusive excursions that we are curating and doing to enhance your investment knowledge and experience. Because we invest a lot in gold, I'm currently working on an excursion to go gold panning while we're talking about investing and doing those different kinds of things. We've been to the casino to talk about the difference between gambling and investing, just like we did at the very beginning of this 5-day challenge. And then, of course, profound insights into Forex trading for lucrative opportunities, because when everybody is working together, you start to get more insights. Everybody is sharing those insights, and it creates a lot of synergy. Now, not everybody in the mastermind actually wants to put in all of that time and effort. So just like Sally, some people would prefer to just be a part and contribute more in a financial sense than they are on a, because they're very time poor. They don't necessarily want to spend as much time doing the research, but they do want to be able to benefit from the research. And that, of course, is also fine. So there are benefits for the people who are putting in the time and the effort to work on the strategies themselves. And that is rewarded through higher returns for them. And for the people who just want to be silent investors, that is also a possibility. But you still get access to all of those insights and the different ways in which you can tap into it, whether it is in a more passive way or in a more active way. And then there is, of course, also comprehensive courses for continuous learning and taking what we've done so far, the 101 of Forex, and increasing that to a whole new level by looking at different strategies, different functionality on different tools that you might have, etc., etc. And then abundant access to valuable resources, because as we said before, when you are working together with other people, one person knows a set of skills or has access to certain people or access to certain knowledge, whereas somebody else has access to other things. And when you combine that, you come up with 1 + 1 = 3, as I call it. There's always more in the end than when you started. One really good example of that is the fact that if I have a challenge and I'm thinking of my own solutions to that challenge, I might be able to come up with 5 different solutions. But if I have 5 people and each of those 5 people come up with 5 solutions, now we have 25 solutions to my problem. And one of those other solutions that I didn't think of might be a better solution than any of the 5 that I came up with. But by sharing those with everybody else, somebody might be able to put 2 of those ideas together and say, oh, we can come up with an even better solution by adding those 2 together. Or somebody's suggestion might spark an idea in somebody else for a completely new idea that is going to lead to 26 or 27 or 28 solutions to the problem. So masterminding is a very powerful tool to getting access to very valuable resources. And then there's a diverse range of investment strategies for a really well-rounded portfolio, which is really important, because if you do have a passive income from your foreign exchange, then you can start having a look at, do I want to start saving that for purchases in property? Do I want to start having a look at wholesale property rather than retail property? Do I want to start looking at commercial property instead of the other 2? Do I want to start creating my own strategy on the side that might do better than the one that we have? Maybe that won't be the case, but do I want to start creating something for myself as well and creating, I don't know, a stock portfolio with dividend income that's a little bit more something that I'm just putting on the side as a nest egg. There are all these different opportunities that start popping up. So this is something that I have been working on for a long time. This is a very complicated spreadsheet. This is actually, I think, probably maybe version 5 or 6. We're up to version 14.0 at the moment. And this was a strategy that I created that isn't suitable for a prop firm, but that you can trade on your own and that makes money and has consistently been making money. And yes, we've improved on this one since then, and we're looking at making it even better so that it could also potentially pass a prop firm as a strategy as well. We have another strategy that's been created that wasn't created in a spreadsheet that has already been coded, for example. But these are the kinds of things that I and the group have been working on. Very exciting. I know that Sally would love this, and you'd probably be very interested to see what all the formulas in here were. And for some of you, not so much, and that is completely fine.
Yeah, I'd be clicking around in there. What is a prop firm?
So a prop firm is the company that would lend you the money and pay you out, say, for example, the 50-50 or the 75-25 and the 100-0.
Ah, yeah, cool.
So the leveraged investment, or otherwise known as a prop firm. So that is what I wanted to share today. I wanted to have a talk to you about that leveraged investment. I wanted to have a talk to you about masterminds and how powerful they are, and to make sure that you surround yourself, whether it's this group or a different group, but make sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to build you up, people who are going to be willing to share some of their resources with you, and people who are going to help you to solve your challenges and help you to move forward and share some of the knowledge they have with regards to the things that you might be missing. So, quick overview one more time. So day one, we had to talk about Forex and why Forex is good. Day two, stop losing money in Forex. So you know how to do that now as well. Day three, unleashing the secret to creating profitable Forex algorithms. And today, day four, advanced Forex tools for smarter trading. And this is all about that prop firm and being able to get access to other people's money, which is, of course, a smarter way of trading. And by passing the tests, you're going to be able to demonstrate to yourself and to the prop firm that you know what you are doing, whereby, again, you have advanced, and it is smarter trading than when you are borrowing money from family and friends who haven't vetted you, and you then might start making a bit of money, and then you lose your head, start investing too much and losing money instead. So that is day four. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at Forex trading success stories and a couple of other things. And we might do another trade together. And we will probably start having a look at putting everything from day one to day five together. So make sure you join us for that one. And then once again, thank you so much for joining. If you wanted to book a call, you can call or email, and I think that the email hasn't been changed on day four, so we might need to do that since the last time that we changed it. And so you can book a call for the end of the 5-day challenge, because we might still answer your question tomorrow. But if it's something that relates to today and you think that we're not going to answer it, you can still email through and ask your questions. And thank you so much for joining, and I'm just going to check the time. I am 2 minutes early, so if anybody has any questions, if there's anything you'd like to share with regards to today's content, which is one of my absolute favorites because I love talking about prop firms, then feel free to share right now.
That was really good, I want to know what to put on overnight so I can report back. Need to trade something. Maybe I don't know. I'll just turn the one off that I've got and take my losses. Actually, let me check before we leave. What do you reckon?
Yes, it
Let me go and check what it's doing.
I don't think
I don't
turned
know.
around that much that quickly, but we can have a look.
Got to find the app. Here it is. It's down to $9.
I think it was 8 before.
It was. It did go up when I first put it on. It was going up, and it went up to like $4, and I'm like, keep going up. And then I just put it down for a few hours and come back, and it's down.
Let's have a look. What time did you start?
Does it say on there? Hang on, I can't share because I'm actually on my phone. Oh, actually, I've never tried because I don't normally use my phone. I'm actually totally shut down my office now and come inside. Oh, there is a share button.
Have the American time
Let's see.
on there.
Share. Only the host can share. If you make me host, I'll see if I can share my phone to the screen.
Let me...
Or co-host even.
If I press the right button. Here we go. You are co-host.
All right, let me see if I can find that button again.
If that doesn't work, I can make you host.
Share screen. All right. Start broadcast. All right, can you see here? The share screen will stop other screen sharing. That's fine.
That's fine. Kick me out.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Can you see my phone?
I can.
Excellent. So this is where I am. Where I've turned the thing on. Oh, it's up to 6. See, it's going up. It's going up. So if I go here, it shows you what it's been doing, right? The next one across.
Correct.
Okay. And then that just shows you, or whatever all those other ones
That's
are.
prices for all of the assets.
Yeah.
And if you go
And-
into the one with the arrow pointing up to the right,
This one. Yep.
yes, so if you click on X, yes, so there you can see the time that it was opened, which was 8:33. But I'm assuming that that is American time, 8:33 in the morning. So you'd have to recalculate it back to the current time.
Yeah. I haven't got my time thingy on my phone. It's on my laptop where I check the time zones.
Sometimes I take a screenshot so I know exactly what time I opened the trade.
Oh, I wonder if I did.
That way I don't have
Let
to
me
go
see.
back and recalculate using time zone
I take
converters.
scre- I take screenshots all the time. Hang on. Recent. See, look how many sorts of screenshots, more screenshots and photos. Nah, I didn't for the copy trade. Testimonials and things. All right. There we go, Menno. It's all yours.
Well
was
done
fun.
for taking the action and having a look. And I would definitely suggest seeing what you learned, seeing what you notice, seeing if there's anything that sticks out. Mary Lou has noticed a couple of things as well. And then share with me, and I'm happy to start a bit of a dialogue. And that's what we obviously do in the mastermind as well. People go out
Yeah.
and play around. And then
So with the
have questions
with
or they're
what
uncertain, they'll come in and ask the questions around it.
do you have to go and pick your girlfriend up tonight?
I do.
That's all right. We will touch base. Tell me something to look at tonight. I need some home play.
So I think that was gold that you bought, yes?
Yeah.
So what you might like to do is have a look at some of the other currencies.
Mhm.
So in this case, you'll see that on my screen, it's slightly different. So your gold that has check at the end, mine has S at the end. So if you open up check for, say, for example, Australian dollar, US dollar, Euro, US dollar, Great British
Hang
pounds,
on.
US dollar.
And you've just got to make sure that they're on check.
Yes. Then they will
Okay,
be
cool, cool.
open for trading on a demo account.
Yeah.
And then I
And-
would suggest
What should I
having a
look
look-
at?
Sorry?
Yeah, what should I look at to decide which one to turn on, down or up?
So I was going to just suggest have a look at the graphs of each of them and see if you notice any patterns, see if you notice anything with regards to those. See if you feel that they are similar, if they're doing similar kinds of things, whether you'd have a different strategy for different ones of them. And maybe see if you can, a game that I used to play in order to be able to start making smaller little predictions would be to maybe set it on a 1 minute chart and then have a look at whether you can predict which way it will go on whichever one you want to have a look at. And then see if you can, I guess, analyze what it is that you've noticed or whether you are able to get it right a couple of times or not. And then report back to me on what your findings are with that.
Okay. All right,
So you
I'll
might
go and
want
find
to
some
have a
check
look at
accounts.
whether you can see whether there was any news on at that time.
Yeah.
What I'm working on at the moment, or getting ready in the process of doing, is going through the history of news items and having a look at how it reacted to different news and creating a database of that. And then we might be able to start sending that out as an alert to members of the mastermind.
Yeah.
That you will be able to know which direction to trade in based on the historic information that we've already compiled for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Copying, take your shit and add my own sparkle.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, Menno, we're gonna have to chat. I will let you
Yes.
go do your night. I told my husband I'd be in by 8:30.
Oh, so then you are on just as much of a deadline as I am.
Yeah, definitely. But he lets me talk, not let me. He can survive watching car shows without me if I don't come in. Awesome.
Yes,
All
as long as
right.
I send a message saying that I'm going to be a little bit later, I'm also not going to die. So it should be okay.
All right. Thanks, Menno, for another great night. I'll chat with you soon.
Okay, thank you everybody, and thank you to the support team as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you for a great evening again,
Thank you.
and I'll
Thank
see you all
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Menno. Thanks, Sally. See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.